I'm like, you don't need all that stuff. You can't possibly need all that stuff to teach preschool. Do you really need it? Hey guys, and welcome to the Miss Joseph channel. If you have not already seen it, I did a preschool haul video. It was actually got a lot of views, especially if my channel is very small. That's one video that really took off on the channel. But in that video, I shared basically the things that I purchased. It is the book of the things that I purchased for my son. It didn't include all, and as big as it was, it still didn't include everything that I had. So I just wanted to just say a few things about the video, even though it's like almost 2 months, I think, since I posted that video. So I wanted to do this response. It's way overdue, in the sense that you don't need all that stuff. I put it in the caption because I remember seeing other moms before I started buying things, or during that time period, and I would see their basically a spread of things, and I'm like, you don't need all that stuff. You can't possibly need all that stuff to teach preschool. Do you really need it? And then what I do, have a whole bunch of stuff. But I just didn't want to put that or let anybody feel that type of pressure. And I hope that wasn't my intention at all. But nonetheless, you're still gonna need some stuff. You don't need as much stuff as I have. And fortunately for me, I found some great deals. And so I just took advantage of them. However, you don't need that much stuff. All right, but I do have tips that if you want to, it's your prerogative if you want to do a haul for your child, or you want to keep it minimal, doesn't matter. I still have tips that I feel like they could be beneficial to you. So let's get into it. All right, first tip is begin with the end in mind. I initially started shopping for him, I didn't even plan to do a haul. It was just like, let me grab a couple of things to just teach him how to hold a pencil or a crayon, and hopefully he can learn how to start writing his name. Like, that's really where I started with that. But ultimately, as time has progressed, because it's been months now at this point, my goal is to make sure that he is kinder ready. Okay, so if you know where you want your child to be at what certain point, it will help guide with the things that you want to purchase to help facilitate him or her to that process. Then you will want to seek out people who know what they're talking about. When I say people, and I do mean people, because it's going to take, I believe, a multi-layer or multifaceted approach to get all the information that you want. A great place to start is fellow parents who are experienced with homeschooling their kids, or at least giving that good lift and support of educating their kids. Try to find somebody who has kids your age, or maybe even just somebody who has the experience, actually. As far as curriculum, you may want to, of course, find somebody who has kids your age. However, I still feel as though it's beneficial to find somebody who really matches the way you want to educate your child. Because even if you follow some parents, there's different ideologies. You can't do everything what everybody else is doing. You got to find something that works for you in your household. I would say also be careful, or be careful. Like, not gonna hurt you, but just proceed with caution for those who are novice in this homeschooling or teaching our kids, because at the end of the day, we don't know. It's like a trial and error thing. So it's not everything that someone says is gonna be like gospel. You don't know. It's like, a lot of us don't know. It's like one thing may work, and you thought it will, or you purchased something you thought it was gonna work, and then you bought it, you were hyped up about it, and then you'd be like, this is not giving what it's supposed to be giving. So people are allowed to change their minds, but I just be careful, because for the hype, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Just be careful for the hype, because you don't really know about their dynamics. Certain products work because they actually do work. Certain products don't work because, hey, they probably didn't. You don't know if that person really put the effort into making it try to work, or maybe it doesn't fit the child's style. Like, there's just a lot of factors that go into things. So it's just like, take the recommendations, take them for what you can, and store it or let it go. I also like watching videos of parents who have an education background, your teachers, your professors. Like, there is something to be said about somebody who's a professional. They took several years of their lives to study a certain discipline. So find someone who also has that, because there's that bridge that they can bring to you, because they have information that as parents we don't necessarily know. Another preschool haul tip, and it's still in the information section, is to find a educator, a teacher, just even if it's not somebody who's necessarily doing homeschooling, like a teacher that's really about teaching parents or even other educators. Actually, there's like great hubs for teachers that they go to for their continuing education. So find someone and that who's very knowledgeable, very experienced, that can share their tips. And a lot of them just do it honestly because they want the kids to have a leg up. They want you to know as a parent what to expect to help their classrooms run better anyway. So like, it's a lot of them give very valuable information, things I've never heard. All right. I also really enjoy watching the new teachers, the new early childhood educators. It's something about the excitement that they bring into the job, and they have a fresh pair of eyes and they have great ideas. So I definitely would encourage finding a couple teachers who give you a real, not like, okay, a real day in the life, not like, oh, I'm going to go and pick up my dry cleaning and go get my coffee from Starbucks. I'm talking like a real deal, how to set up their classroom, how do they store all the materials and classroom supplies that they have. Also, what are the standards and assessments that they have to do on the kids? And there's a lot of things that we as parents, we just do not know. So it's a good perspective to have, to just follow somebody who's bringing you into their classroom. And each state, they all have their own standards and stuff like that, but at least try to just give you a general picture of what it is when you send your child off and what it is that they do with the kids there. To round off the information collecting process, I also highly suggest that you find a speech language pathologist, someone who is knowledgeable in language development, also occupational therapist, and a pediatrician. I've learned so much from those three disciplines as well. I mean, it's really had shaped the way I view toys and their interactions that I have with my child. And it's great information that these professionals are sharing on YouTube. I mean, most of the things are from YouTube, or you could follow them on their own business websites and stuff like that, but or blogs. Just seek out. You may have to take you some time finding somebody who can speak the way you can understand, because some of the terms are not necessarily easy to comprehend, but someone who can actually break down the information in good bite-sized pieces so that you can understand it and you can take it and implement what they have to suggest. Now, to the shopping, I just wanted to start off with the education piece. I think that it really drives your shopping decisions differently when you have more information and you're able to make more knowledgeable decisions. You can make more age appropriate or developmentally appropriate buys for your child. I know for me, there's things that I purchased especially in the very beginning, that I just have to wait until he gets to that point to use them, because at this stage they're just not appropriate for him, and it's okay. If you can even go shopping later on and you see something, you can be like, oh, I can buy this, I can store it for later. But that's different versus just buying something you bought it wrong to begin with. So there's a difference in that kind of purchase. First purchasing tip: give yourself a head start. There's some parents who can. The need has come, they buy everything, they get everything that they need, it's fine, right? Everything works out. There's parents like me who just need a little bit more lead time. And the lead time is actually pretty good because, for another reason, first you don't feel stressed, right? Because you don't need anything immediately. Secondly, because you don't need anything in an urgent fashion, it gives you a time to really research the product. It gives you also time to price watch the product. So it's like, you know, like you go to a convenience store, you're gonna pay for the convenience. If you didn't take the time to really just wait for a sale, and you just need it, you're gonna buy whatever price that the person wants to set it for, because you need it right then and then. You're just gonna get it if you really want it bad enough. But for me, I like to have a list of things that maybe I would like to get, definitive that I would like to bet. Sometimes I don't even buy them right away because I just want to wait and see what the price gonna do, what the sale's gonna do. I am a firm believer that you don't need to buy everything at full price. You just don't. And you can make a great haul based on sales. All right. So the next tip is more like a personal preference. It's about thrift stores. I don't know how comfortable you are, but for me, I went in there for books, and I ended up going there time and time again looking for games and puzzles that, through shopping, the thrift store really introduced me to new products that I wasn't even aware that were available on the market. And it's also things that I didn't necessarily see at the big retail stores. Them things were older, but some things are actually brand new, you know? So like, I would recommend going to a thrift store just to widen the offerings that you have to give to your child, because you never know what you're gonna get. But just don't count them out just yet. You never know. I'm just saying. I kind of OD'd at the thrift store because that's the thing too. You don't know what you're gonna get when you get in there. You don't know if your things are bound to repeat or not. So there's things that I did purchase just in case, because I don't know if they were gonna come around again, because the supply, the inventory is just so varied and it's so random. So I did get certain things. So, which brings me to another tip. When you're doing your hauls, please consider the space that you have in order to store the materials, especially if you're the type who's just buying as you go, which most people do anyway. But you gotta be mindful as to the space that you really have to devote to storing the stuff until you get to a point where you want to start sorting and creating plans, or educational plans for your kid. I just know that it got to a point where I just had a couple of bags, and then I ended up using boxes. And so for my haul that you saw, those things were I basically reused his pull-up, or I think at the time I started he was selling diapers, so diapers, and then eventually pull-up boxes, and I would just put the things in there. He never really went into them because, to his knowledge, from the box it just looked like it was regular diapers. So, but it gets to a point that I can't keep them in there. I need to see what I have so I can not duplicate purchases and actually use the things that I purchased. Tip for your preschool haul is see what you can do for yourself, like your do yourself projects. I'm not crafty. I'm not like that type of person who's going to, I think this is something right here. I'm not going to be creating things, where some people, they're very good. There's other things that people are selling that honestly, if you have the time, you can just go on Google, do your, image searches and type things on your own. I mean, there's things that you really do not have to buy, because you can just reduplicate it on your own or create it on your own. There's things that I think I just rather pay for because I don't want to spend the time doing them, or I don't have the resources for it. Like this example, my son's doormat. Like I said before, if you watch my toddler handwriting video, like I seen these for free. You can print them out and laminate them on your own. At the time I didn't have a laminator, but I also like the fact that this is a full color and I'm not using my ink for it. So for me, the purchase was worth it. And the time saved was worth it, but it's to each his own. I don't think that whatever you decide is whatever you decide. You just do what's best for you. But at the end of the day, a doormat is a doormat, right? If you do it in black and white, long as the child is doing the work, it doesn't matter what the child is using, right? It doesn't have to be anything fancy or manufactured, but as long as the concept is there. So if you have the time or you're creative, then just do those things. It's all good. Some places to go shopping. We all know about Amazon, Lakeshore Learning, Target dollar spot. I found some things. I started my shopping last fall, so I didn't get to see what they had for the school year. Their Target dollar spot, but there's some great things there. Target dollar spot, Five Below. I bought Play-Doh kits there. I found the ones that have the alphabet for $5. And where else I would say Dollar Tree, depending on what it is. Certain things you're just gonna have to spend the money for more quality things. But these are things at the Staples. I went to Office Max before, but I don't think they're no longer. I found some good things there on their clearance. If you can find stores that are closing down, are going out of business, you can go there. Always check the clearance section. Oh, I recently found, remember I said I didn't have a laminator? At the time, I found a laminator. The laminator cost me less than my Post-it notes. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And I was gonna buy it. Anyway, I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna just buy it. Because even though I'm not laminating big projects like the doormats at the time of my thinking, but I'm still gonna need a laminator eventually. And like lo and behold, she rang that thing up. I was like, yes, 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 yes. Oh, I was so happy with that laminator purchase. I'm telling you. But anyway, like, just keep your eyes open. Don't get too excited. Take it easy. Like I said, have a wish list of things that you will like, or things, I think have a need. I definitely need list. Things that you want to have, and things that you don't like. If you're feeling fancy, you would like to get like a bougie list. Okay, here are a couple of my don'ts. Do not bother buying low quality books for your kids. And what I mean by low quality, I'm not saying like the paper. I'm talking about the way the book is written, the way the story flows. You know, read the book yourself and see if it really makes sense. Just because it's a child's book doesn't necessarily mean it has to make no sense. Like it should have. I'm telling you, like I bought a book, I was like, this is a bad book. A well-written book will affect the way, well, I should say this another way. A poorly written book can definitely affect the way you deliver the story. I mean, these kids at this age, they cannot read. And so you have to read the stories to them. So if the story is interesting, you go put a little more oomph into it. You make it a little bit more interesting, and it keeps you, and I mean, I don't know how your kid is, but mine, I have to read the story over and over again. Over and over again. So who wants to read a book that's poorly written? I would recommend not buying duplicate, triplicate of the same item because you heard about this one item. Let's say it was a scissor, and you bought that version, and you bought a different version of a scissor, and it's like, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, let the kid use it. If it's something that does not really work for the child, then you can try something else. But just buying over the same items over and over again because of somebody else's recommendation is not a good use of your time and money. Use what you have. You can make do with what you have. You don't have to necessarily let go of good for the best, right? I think perfection is the enemy of good, right? Some things are just good enough and they're good for that time period. And if later on in life something happens to that item and you can like level up or get something better, then okay, fine. But like, I don't think that you have to always get the best of everything in order to do what you need to do with your preschooler. Sometimes, you know, certain things are worth the brand. I'm not gonna. My other don't, which actually is a do, try to see what you can find for free, because there's a lot of things. This is a whole marketplace, like, right? People are gonna sell you air if they could, right? Certain things you can literally find for free. You can literally find on your own by just a basic Google search that somebody's selling for a lot of money. But I mean, it's up to you to do whatever you want. But I'm just saying, I found as many things I found that I purchased, there's certain things I stopped buying because literally the worksheets, forget about it. The worksheets, you can sign up to certain websites. I mean, you probably need another email account because for this, because I signed up to a lot of things in my regular email address. I kind of regret that part. I wish I just did a separate email for the preschool stuff. But honestly, I found so many things that are free. If I had time one day, I'll show you the things that I have. But the worksheets, that's the least. You ain't gotta go crazy over worksheets. They're everywhere. And also, I think I'm gonna leave you with this, is when you're doing your preschool haul, buy things that you're really gonna use. Like buy things that you really can really see yourself at least trying. Because like I said before, some things may not work based on for your child, based on different factors. But at least really giving a real good attempt to see and follow through on the things that you purchase. And some things you may realize like, oh, I didn't really need this, but that's okay. You can always donate or give to somebody else. But the things that you know, that the core reading, writing, and math things, try to really commit to those things. Because, and I say this only because you're going to do the work one way or the other. You're going to do the work if you're sending your kids out to school. When the teacher calls to say such and such, little Johnny needs help with this, can you please work with him at home? You're going to be doing it then. And at that time, it's going to be different because they're going to be grading them. They're going to be assessing it. Whereas at this point, the three, some people may even they start with their kids at 2, but like the 3-4-year-old, it's a great time to start and implementing some practices of learning with your child, like little things here and there as the day goes on. But it's not like a big thing because they're so young. You're not going to really get all that attention span. I can get him to do certain things for almost 20-30 minutes, but it depends on the activity. It depends. But for a while, you know, these kids are going to move around. They're so young. They just want to play. And so a lot of things that I purchased too in the haul, you saw that they're really like game-like, play-like things. I really showed like the curriculum thing at the very end. I thank you for watching. If you feel as though this video was beneficial in any way, please give it a thumbs up and share to those you think will benefit from the information. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Appreciate it. Thank you. Till next time.